every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Appreciate your patience this morning as we got some great news from my mom. So she had some things that had to get tested, and everything came back normal. So thank God for that. Mama's doing well, and that means it is a great day. So happy to be here with you. Happy to be hanging out where sports meets life inside of the Cafe Kubal studios. So proud to be here with you. So proud to have some fun here where sports meets that thing called life. Cafe Kubal on 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, and 401 South Salina Street, all in Syracuse, New York. Also on 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York. And, of course, you can find them on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners in their drive-through location. Make sure you fill your cup up right today. And if you go downtown to 401 South Salina Street, you can also have not only your coffee, your tea, and all the great stuff that Cafe Kubal has to offer, but they also now have beer on tap, and you can have yourself a nice drink and drink responsibly down on 401 South Salina Street with a new model that they're working. And we always love, like Cafe Kubal, supporting local. And you know that I always talk about having the candle lit here in the studio. So you're going to watch me do it here this morning. And the only reason why you're watching me do this is because I trust my ability to get this done now. So I've definitely grown and evolved in this respect as I light this candle. There we go. Don't make a liar out of me. So we are here and very thankful for Witty, Wicks, and all that they bring to the community and all that they bring, of course, to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. They are a proud partner of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and their candles help to soothe me in my studio here. So I have these candles lit in my home. I have them lit in the studio, in my office. Very, very proud to work with Witty Wicks because I've loved their candles for a long time. I want to say 8 years ago, 9 years ago, maybe more than that. So I've been a big fan of Witty Wicks for a long time. Proud to work with them. 190 Township Boulevard in Camillus, New York, in Township 5, right in front of Movie Tavern. So very happy to have this. Very happy. I got everything to even out. I don't know how I did it, but my Witty Wicks candle is still shining bright here. My window's wide open that I have on every day. So I still got some left. Don't need the colossal candle yet, but we have it here in the studio to light our way. Very excited for what's going to be coming on today's show. You know, on Fridays we have a trio of signature segments that Wake Up Call is proud to bring you every single Friday, every TGIF. Inside of MON-FRI's What's Poppin'. By the way, Mon-Paz is hiring for the fair. If you want to work with a fantastic group where the owners are hands-on and they have a ton of fun making their cotton candy, their popcorn, their kettle corn, their caramel-coated cheese bombs, everything that they have there, their lemonade and more. Go to Indeed.com, search Ma and Paz, and apply today to be a part of their tremendous team. Inside of MonPazPopcorn.com's What's Poppin', we have the annoying moment of the week coming up in a second. It's going to be a very unique one, brought to you by Carvel DeWitt. Then we have Lead, Learn, Evolve, ad-lib, and deliver. That is brought to you by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. And our topic today is the figurative road signs. So we're going to talk about the road signs of life coming up here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora in Lead around 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And then at 10 a.m. Eastern Time in hour number 2, we will be joined by our top dog of the week, who is being honored by Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, the only place, in my opinion, to bring your dog here in Central and Upstate New York for short and long-term care. Fantastic people and a fantastic experience. Lily's experienced it. And so I can tell you firsthand, very much appreciate all the work that's being done at the campground and at K9 Camp Dog Daycare as well. Big shout out to Lorraine, Chad, Heather, and the entire team. Our top dog of the week this week is Keenan Hale Jr. Keenan Hale Jr. is going to be joining us in just a little bit at 10 a.m. Eastern Time to speak with us about everything he's doing post playing football. So we talk about having to move into that next chapter and how hard it is for athletes and whatnot. Keenan Hale is doing a lot of great things. Coach Hicks and I spoke about it a couple weeks ago from Mother's Cupboard on 3709 James Street in Syracuse, and now we get the opportunity to speak with Keenan Hale, which we'll do around 10 a.m. Eastern Time this morning. So, a lot of great stuff coming up, and a tribute to round out the show as well. So very excited to be doing that. Happy to have you here. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. And without further ado, we're going to jump into the annoying moment of the week. And this annoying moment is going to be a unique one, folks. I'm going to have some fun with this one. And so without further ado, I don't want to tell you what's coming. I just want to bring it to you. So the annoying moment of the week coming up here where sports meets life on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, brought to you by our longest standing partner and longest standing Carvel franchise in America, Carvel DeWitt.
Dan Tortora proudly brings you...
Is that for real? Are you kidding me?
The annoying moment of the week.
I'm really honest. I don't know how to respond to this.
Presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It's what happy tastes like.
You have to be that crazy. I guess so.
The annoying moment of the week for this week, folks. You got to rock with me on this one. It's a very interesting annoying moment of the week. And that annoying moment of the week is a dream that I had last night. And the dream that I had last night was very unique. I was in my G-Mama's neighborhood. And so, I'm in G-Mama's neighborhood. I'm driving in the car with my dad. And so I'm in the car with Pop. We're driving around. And I get out of the car, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. And I'm looking at this thing, and there's an ostrich. And I remember in my dream that, I'm going to have to look up what ostriches mean in dreams, but I remember in my dream thinking to myself, man, these ostriches have bothered me before. Like they've been around me before. And so this ostrich came over, and my dad, I feel like my dad was like stunned by this. The ostrich would not leave me alone. And he was like, oh, they're fine. Like, they're not going to hurt you. They're totally fine. And the ostrich came over and was trying to poke at my face and was trying to, like, hit me in the face. And I don't understand why this was happening, what the purpose was for any of this. But the ostrich kept coming over to me, and it was trying to get to me. And I went, like, into this, like, front part of this house, and I was kind of, like, hiding in the front part of this house. And, well, it was, like, kind of like a porch. And this ostrich, and this is when my dad finally got that these things were coming after me, specifically to come after me, because it came down, and then like you could see its shadow, and it was like coming around the bend, trying to like feel where I'm at and poke, turn around the corner, but they wouldn't leave. I mean, this ostrich kept trying to attack me, and I don't understand why. And then I held on to the ostrich's beak. And I tried to like keep it from biting me. So I'm holding on to the beak of this ostrich, trying to prevent it from biting me. And eventually I like got it to kind of like go, to kind of just stop. And I was trying to get back to the car before it bit me. And then it fell down a hole. And then I felt really bad that it went down the hole because I didn't know how it was going to get out of the hole. Then I thought to myself, well, this thing was trying to attack me, so do I feel bad about it? But I guess that's part of my annoying moment of the week is in my dreams, why are ostriches so mad at me? And I don't know why. And I look up, and I mean, you think about it, and you're sitting here trying to, like, figure it out, like, what's going on with the ostrich? Why is it so mad? And I don't know. I couldn't tell you why the ostrich was mad at me. I can't tell you what I've done. I don't have a problem with an ostrich living its life, doing its thing. I've never outside of going and seeing something in like in a certain setting, I guess, like I've never crossed one. I've never bothered one. I don't know what the significance is of it all. But the thing is, in my dreams, this one I was more asleep. But in my dreams, I'm usually awake enough to try to decipher what's going on in my dream. And when I'm trying to decipher what's going on in my dream, I'm usually like, I'm coherent enough to say, why is this happening? Like, what is going on that would provoke this to happen? And so usually I can at least have like kind of a discussion with myself, I guess you would say, so to speak, and sit there and try to discover like why I'm having the dream that I'm having. But I can't for the life of me figure out why the ostrich keeps coming after me. I don't know. But in my dream I was like, I know this has happened before. I know that this thing has bothered me before, and I don't know why it's bothering me, but it continues to bother me. So I can't tell you why the dream happened the way that it happened. I can't tell you what it means, but you know what? We're here on a live broadcast, so why don't we look it up? Because I need to know, and it's something that's been on my mind here. So we're gonna look it up here this morning inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios. You're watching and listening to Wake Up Call. So ostrich dream biting. Here we go. Let's see what it says. Dream about ostrich biting me. I'm going to click on the first thing I see. God help us all. It signifies some psychological business you need to work on. You will experience much success as a result of your dedication. You will be unexpected. Yeah, okay, this one doesn't make sense. So we're not going to read this one. All right, let's read this one. Here we go. Dream about ostrich biting me indicates a valuable lesson to be learned. Some elements contribute to various aspects of your well-being. There's a part of yourself that you can always rely on. This dream points at thrill and excitement. There is something in your life which you have overlooked. Ostrich biting me dream is a metaphor for the opportunities and possibilities within your grasp. You'll experience a positive turn in events. You are concealing who you really are. This dream is a portent for your life, for your love of nature. You are unproductive. Well, I'm definitely not unproductive. We know that much. So, I guess these are different potential things here. The fire within you is burning extra hot, so make the most of this incredible internal furnace. Treat yourself to some new attire. Proudly show it off tonight. Take the lead on projects that might be floundering. You have the power. You have power behind your words and actions today, so use it for the higher good. So yeah, I'm just trying to figure out these ostrich meanings here. There's a lot of different ones here. But yeah, it's like to the point where if I saw an ostrich, I feel like there's like I'd have a little spring in my step to get out of there. So let's see here. Let's see if there's another one here. Some of these are making sense, but then they kind of like go off into something else. So I want to see if there's one that's more. Here we go. Okay, seeing an ostrich in a dream is a sign of blessing. Riding an ostrich in a dream, no, I didn't do that. To see riding, no. Seeing an ostrich bite in a dream tells that a person will encounter malicious people, be jealous of their success, and will do their best to make things go bad. The dream owner seeing an ostrich in his or her home indicates the person will have a long life. So, yeah, that's what we're talking about this morning on Wake Up Call. We're starting off our sports show, where sports meets life. You know, we talk about everything here. But we're having fun on a Friday. I want to know why an ostrich is biting me in my dream, and I want to know why it's not the first time. This exercise could be the real house that you live in, or it could be the cleansing of your emotions. The ostrich, in other words, the ostrich meaning is prompting you to sort out which is no longer useful to you so that you can let it go. Thus, this spirit animal teaches that emotions that no longer serve you should also be released. Similar to the blue jay, ostrich symbolism also lets you know that it's time to use your spiritual knowledge and integrate it into your everyday practical life. However, you must make sure that when you apply this wisdom that you also take the time to understand this knowledge. Occasionally, ostrich symbolism signifies that it's time to protect your energy against the harmful psychic clinging of others. Make a point of defending yourself against these negative forces by grounding yourself and your emotions. The ostrich meaning also teaches you that you must learn to accept these energies for what they are. Therefore, if you practice releasing those energies with love, then in most cases they will move on. So, interesting there. It's time to protect your energy against the harmful psychic clinging of others. Ooh, that got real. That got really real. How about that? So, seeing an ostrich in a dream and the ostrich biting me. Good stuff. So, I like it. I feel it. It's not my annoying moment of the week anymore. See, I always tell people to turn a negative into a positive. So, there you go. My other annoying moment of the week that I probably have to throw in really quick here. And I'm wearing this shirt for a purpose, right? The shirt says, "Are you human?" Now, this is actually a shirt that has something different to it. And if I shut off the lights in the studio, I don't know if you'd be able to see it, but it actually says, "Are you inhuman?" So you could see the IN right here. You could see that. So when you shut off the lights, it's supposed to glow, "Are you inhuman?" But right now it says, "Are you human?" And the reason, so this is a shirt that obviously is a Marvel shirt, but I wear this shirt, "Are you human?" and I wear it out, and I feel like, it causes people to maybe look within their soul, right? Are you human? Because what do we mean by being human, right? When people say, because normally when somebody does something wrong, what's their excuse? They say, "Oh, well, I'm only human," right? "I'm only human." That's it. And so normally you hear "I'm human" when somebody does something bad. But I challenge people to say, what about if you do something good? You hold the door for someone, they say, "Wow, that was really nice of you." You say, "Well, I'm human." You hold out a chair for somebody. "Well, I'm human." You're chivalrous on a date and you're not looking to just, get something physical out of it. And somebody goes, "Wow, you're a really kind gentleman," or "Wow, you're a really sweet lady." Well, I'm human. Why don't we use "I'm human" for good, for something nice, for something productive and positive? And so I wear this, "Are you human?" because you see things that people do out in public. And one of the things I said over the past couple of years was, going through this pandemic, if you come out of it worse than who you are going into it, then you didn't learn anything. If you come out of it the same, well, then you didn't learn anything. Because you got to come out of this thing better. None of us are perfect. There's something that we weren't appreciating. There's something that maybe we weren't doing, a dream that we weren't chasing. There was something in our life that was toxic that we weren't getting rid of, and then we were just accepting. There were things within our life that could have gotten better that we were not getting better. Right? So to me, "Are you human?" is part of my annoying moment of the week, because there's things that people do in public, and you sit there and you say to yourself, could this person have done this if they actually were being human, right? Because inhumane, right? You hear inhumane and things that aren't right and things that are not okay. And, I talk about crazy things that people do, but I think it's important to know in relationships, whether you're behind closed doors or you're in front of everybody, it's important to understand what is not okay, right? And I think that sometimes we get caught up in our own world and in our relationships, and like this ostrich, right, who's trying to tell me in my dream to get rid of the negative energy in my life, to get rid of that. And I love that it said that psychic connection, right? That somebody is connecting with you in a way of control, right? That they don't even have to be there, but they have a hold on you. They have a hold on your brain. And it's very true that things that you witness in your life are not normal, right? It's not normal for somebody to stare at a wall for 3 hours. It's not normal for somebody to fake pass out and play possum. It's not normal for people to scream at the top of their lungs and have their eyes bug out. It's not normal for, people to drive to come and see you and then drive home when they don't hear what they want to hear. It's not normal to go through things that some of us have gone through. And I think some of us that have gone through verbal and physical abuse, you get to a point where you think you deserve it. You think it's normal. You think that everybody goes through it. And that's not the case. And I think, it's important to talk to a friend. It's important to talk to a family member, to talk to a therapist, to talk to somebody that can help. Because when you have these conversations, you realize that what you're going through that you already knew wasn't normal, you realize even more so how not normal it is. And so I wear this shirt, "Are you human?" as a reminder to people to not allow things within their lives that aren't good for you, right? And to remember that being human has a beautiful, beautiful connotation to it. And we've kind of muddied that, right? We've kind of dirtied this shirt, so to speak, in what it means to be human. So I ask you today to think about being human as a positive thing. and to also see the energy you're surrounding yourself with, because maybe you have an ostrich chasing you, trying to bite you in your dream, telling you that there's an energy you have to get rid of, that there's something you have to let go of, that there's something within your life that is seeking to diminish you, to destroy you, that you need to release the energy of. You need to let it go. You need to just pull it up off your shoulders and give it up to God. So, the annoying moment of the week is the abuse, the negative energy. We thought it was the ostrich, but the ostrich was actually coming to help you. The thing that was coming to bite you, to nip at you, right? Tough love, right? Tough love. Because sometimes when you talk to your family and friends and they don't say what you want to hear, or they don't tell you there's a positive way, or they don't, or not that there's a positive way, but sometimes we're in these friendships, we're in these relationships, we're in these work environments where we go to somebody we love and they tell us like, hey, that's not a healthy job for you. You know, you've gained weight, you're really depressed, you never sleep, you don't take care of yourself. This doesn't really sound like a good work environment. Or you're in a relationship and it's like, well, you know, this person's constantly yelling at you, they're hanging up on you, they're ignoring you, they're silencing you, they're not appreciating you. Or you're in a friendship and it's like, hey, they're judging you, they're constantly, you know, trying to make you second guess yourself, they're doing things and you're a better friend to them than they are to you, right? You go out of their way, you never really see them come your way. When we hear that from family and friends, or maybe a total stranger, maybe you're hearing that from me this morning and you're going, oh my gosh, Dan, you're right. We don't want to hear it, but we need to hear it, because so many times we attach ourselves to negativity in hopes that we can make it better. I'm a make it better guy, right? I attach myself to a negative situation and I try to fix it. And what you realize when you take a step back and you look at it is that even if this thing got fixed, it's going to take forever and a day. And by the time it is finally done, you've wasted all of your life trying to fix something that doesn't want to fix itself. And every time you keep building this house, they keep kicking down all the brick, you know, they keep kicking the bricks out. They didn't mix the cement last night like they were supposed to. They're not nailing in the studs. They're putting things in backwards. You know, you're trying to set a piece of wood and they're kicking it out of your hand. When you realize that when you're trying to build a house, the person or people around you at work, personally, professionally, whatever's going on, when you realize when you're trying to build a foundation, you're trying to build a house, and the person you're trying to build it with keeps knocking it down, maybe that's not the house you're supposed to build. Because destruction only knows destruction. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm a man of peace. Does that mean I'm perfect? No. Does it mean I make mistakes? And when my peace is disrupted, sometimes I feel like I don't act human, right? Right? You get mad. And we all have our moment. We all have that level. And when you hit that level, it's important to pull yourself back and say, what does it mean to be human? Are the people or person I'm dealing with being human? And how can I adjust myself so that this ostrich doesn't keep coming into my dream and biting me? Because this ostrich has come into my dream recently. And this ostrich has been in my dream yesterday. And I think I know why. And I'm going to listen. With that being said, thank you for listening and paying attention to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. We'll take a step aside. This has been the Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. The great thing about your Annoying Moments of the Week is no matter what it is, if it's road rage, if it's something going on at school, something going on at home, if you're trying to get this job, if you're trying to go here, trying to go there, trying to do this, trying to do that, and something standing in your way that's made you annoyed today, you can always go to Carvel DeWitt and put a smile on your face. They are what happy tastes like, and they are the exclusive home of the Wake Up Call Sunday, and there's something new coming to you very, very soon here. Very excited about it, and definitely looking forward to it. Carvel DeWitt is a fantastic place. From their Carvel ice cream cakes that are second to none, to everything they offer there. They're not just Carvel, they're Carvel DeWitt. And I implore you to head out there to 4322 East Genesee Street today. We'll see you out there, and I thank you so much for all Carvel does from Jay Cartini and the team. Shout out to Haley and Holly and everybody over at Carvel DeWitt. Big shout out to Amanda and the fantastic cake she makes. I can tell you firsthand, there are things that she does with Carvel ice cream cakes, the creation she makes that I didn't even know were possible. and she's brought them to life. So big shout out to Amanda. With that being said, we'll take a step aside and we'll jump into lead, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver. Right after this fast break, we'll be getting into the topic of road signs, which many times in the show, and that's why I say there's no coincidences, just God incidences. There's ways that God brings it all back. And you know what? That ostrich being a road sign, we're going to talk about road signs, brought to you by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay in lead right after this on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Café Kubal studios.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
Café Kubal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafekubal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Café Kubal needs. Café Kubal, coffee for the soul.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora from inside of the Café Kubal studios, hanging out with you where sports meets that thing called life. So happy to be here with you every single Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. You're hanging out with us on Facebook.com, YouTube.com, and MixLR.com, all /WakeUpCallDT. You're also with us here on WakeUpCallDT.com, and you're with us on Facebook.com /LiveNowDT. So, however you're connecting with the show, thank you so much for tuning in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. You know, on Fridays, we have our trio of signature segments here inside of MonPosPopcorn.com's What's Poppin'. And we started off with the annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, and it's now time for us to get into lead. Learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver is the acronym, and that is our way of showing you a lot of different things throughout, the year. And about learning, we can always learn. If you stop learning, you stop living, in my opinion. Evolve. Once you learn, how are you going to get better, right? It's not good enough to just have the knowledge and keep it, right? Just hold on to it, but you have to hone the knowledge and learn from it. So learn, evolve, ad-lib. Nothing in life happens exactly how we want it to happen, so you have to be able to ad-lib and deliver, right? Deliver on your promises that you make to yourself, and deliver on the promises you make to God, and deliver on the promises you make to others. So, with that being said, we have a new topic today, and the topic of today's broadcast of lead is road signs. What do I mean? Well, I learned, and I didn't know. I looked it up in the moment, instantaneous. I'm an honest person. And so I looked up the ostrich meaning, and I didn't realize that the ostrich meaning had to do with signs, right? It had to do with signs. Seeing the sign that the ostrich was sending my way. So, we come to road signs, and so many times I've seen how the annoying moment of the week and lead bond with one another. And I love that. And that's 1,000% God. 1,000%. 1,000,000%. Brought to you by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. So having this piece within it of road signs, right, today for lead. What do I mean by road signs? Well, like the ostrich, things that are meant to be there figuratively to stop us or to help us go, to teach us something. What are the road signs that we know? Well, we know stop. So let's go through those road signs. Stop. Sometimes stop means you stop, right? Stop doing what you're doing. Maybe you're doing something wrong. Maybe you learned something in your life and now you're not practicing it, so God is saying stop. Maybe it's stop to let something pass, right? Maybe you have to let something go. Maybe something that you think is yours is not meant to be, and you need to let it pass you by, right? Stop. Stop and think. Think about your next move. Think about what's going on. Think about if you want to do this. Railroad crossing. What happens at a railroad crossing? The bars come down and you hear the ding, 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 right? So sometimes when we try to go through the stop sign that God wants us to stop at, that railroad crossing's there, right? To really stop you. So sometimes when you don't learn your lesson or you try to force through, then now here's the railroad sign. Here's the railroad crossing. God tried to tell you, hey, couple miles back you needed to stop. You went through that stop sign. Now here's a railroad crossing. If you try to go through this, you're going to get hit by that thing I'm trying to protect you from. One way. One way. That one-way road sign. What does that mean? Figuratively. The one-way sign, as we talk about lead here inside a Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. One way. Well, to me, some people will say, well, Dan, that's God saying go this way. Go that way. Well, sometimes one-way signs, sometimes that can be deceiving in life. We may think there's only one way. Now, I can use this in a lot of different ways. There's one way to God, right? Being a good person. There's certain things that you have to do to get home to heaven, in my opinion. You know, be a good person. When you sin, say you're sorry. Don't repeat your sins. When you do, figure out what's causing the habit. Get out of that habit. Make yourself better. Don't just do bad things and say you're sorry. So, one way could be that, right? This is the pathway. But there's also people in your life that are going to tell you there's only one way. There's only one way to do this. There's only one way to do that. There's only one way to make this happen. There's only one way to be a broadcaster. There's only one way to be a business owner. There's only one way. Or you have to come my way, right? That's mine. That's my one way. So sometimes one ways are deceiving. Sometimes they're keeping you from a road that you're not supposed to go on. Right? You can only turn left, can't turn right. Why? Because there might be something down that road on the right that God doesn't want you to be a part of. And I keep saying God because I'm a man of faith. And I know some of you listening are and some of you aren't, and that's totally fine. But I am. And I don't pretend to think in my life that I know everything and give myself all the signs. Because sometimes I've gotten signs in life that I thought were good and they weren't. Sometimes I interpreted them, but I am a human being. I don't know everything. That's also what it means to be human, is to not know everything, even though there's some humans out there that think they do. So I can tell you firsthand, we don't know everything. And none of us are going to know everything. We're going to know some things, but we're not going to know everything. And as we look at these road signs and symbols, and we've talked about a few of them here this morning, it's important to pay attention to them. Right? Road work ahead. Road work ahead. That could be telling you the person that you're dealing with, they have some work to do. Or could be God saying to you, on this road, when you get to this point, you're going to need to work on some things. You're going to meet something on this road that's going to cause you to have to work a little bit to get through it, to understand it, to get better, or to be ready for it. Road work ahead. I think in relationships, personally, for me, that's a sign to tell me that the person I'm dealing with hasn't worked on something. So if I see road work ahead on their road, I'm thinking, okay, well, in this relationship, I might need to work, you might need to work, we both might need to work. Merging lanes. Merging lanes. To me, this is a beautiful thing. Merging life, right? Your partner, your husband, your wife, somebody becoming that piece to you. You're merging your lane. Someone and you are bonding together. Compromise. Give a little. Take a little, give a little. Give a little, take a little. Right? And when I say take, I don't mean grab. If they give it to you, then welcome that. Merging lanes to me is about that. It's about those relationships, right? It's about compromise. Compromise in business, compromise personally. A merging lane is, to me, two people finding a way to work together to move forward. And if you can't merge your lanes together in business, if you can't merge your lanes together in friendship, if you can't merge your lanes together in family, if you can't merge your lanes together in your romantic relationship and move forward, then this probably isn't the right road for you. There's lots of signs, right? There's lots of road signs. Slow. We see those, right? When there's construction, somebody's out there usually spinning it. Slow. That slow sign, to me, very simple. Slow down. Slow down. Since I was a little kid, I wanted to be married to the love of my life. I wanted it to be Topanga Lawrence, Daniel Fishel's character from Boy Meets World. I wanted to marry Topanga or Jennifer Aniston. And I kept telling God, this is the woman. No, this is the woman. No, this is the one. Give me the woman of my dreams. I want to be a dad. I want to be a dad. Not when I was like crazy young. I knew I wanted to be a dad when I was 15. And when you say that to people, they hear it wrong. It's not I wanted to be a dad at 15. I knew at 15 years old, as young as I was, that I aspired to be not a good, but a great father someday. That I wanted to have that. So you see the slow sign. And what does the slow sign say? It's slow down. Slow down. My parents told me that all the time. Slow down. You don't have to marry the first person you date. You don't have to say yes when it doesn't feel right. Slow down. Slow down. Slow down. My mom told me that recently. My mom pulled this road sign out recently. She said, honey, slow down. Slow down and let this thing sort itself out. Slow down. I like this one. No U-turn. Can't go back. Means a lot of things. No U-turn. You can't turn it around. Why? Because your past is your past. And as much as we all talk about it like we can go back, you can't go back. You can't go back. No matter what you do, you can't go back. Even if you had a DeLorean and you had Doc and Marty McFly and you went back, you can mess everything up in the future and the present. So it's important to understand in life, there's no U-turn. You can't go back in time. And in relationships, a lot of the times, somebody's an ex because they're an ex. Somebody went into your... I put it to you like this. When people say, oh man, I broke up with this person, and 3 years later, like, I'm still thinking about him, I should try and make it work out. If they haven't been in your life in 3 years, they don't want to be. And I know that's hard for people to understand, but I'm telling you, I found peace with this. If they don't want to be in your life, they're not going to be. People go after what they want. Okay? And somebody who's not used to going after what they want and just sitting there on a couch waiting for it to come to them and call them and do whatever they want it to do, they eventually realize people go after what they want. Even the laziest of people is going to get hit with that reality at some point in their life. Even the most selfish of people. Something in life, I want to believe God will come to their couch and say, if you let this thing go, it's not coming back. And I'm not going to send it again in the form of another thing. If you let this go, it's gone. That's how it is. If you let it go, it's not that God's not going to send you a gift. But how do you send somebody a lesson if people just sit on the couch and wait for it to come to them, wait for it to come to them, wait for it to come to them, and they just let it go, 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 let it go. God's going to not, keep throwing gifts at your door, right? Think about that. God leaves a gift at your door, but you don't get off the couch. Then you say, God, where are my gifts at? Because they didn't fall through the sky. Well, they're blocking your doorway. But now, people are coming on your front porch, and they're taking your gifts because you didn't come out and get them. So somebody else is going to come get them that appreciates them. No U-turns. Workers ahead. That means on the road that you're on, there's people working hard at life. There's people working hard to make themselves better. They're trying to grow their business. They're trying to be a good athlete, a good student, a good person, a good business owner, a good doctor, a good lawyer, a good janitor, a good flight attendant. There's work ahead on this road. Are you going to work or not? Winding roads. Winding roads. It's God telling you, nothing's straight. Nothing's completely straight. There's always going to be a winding road. There's always going to be a winding road somewhere in your life. The road will wind. The road will never be straight. It will never be completely straight because it wasn't meant to be completely straight. The road will wind. And as that road winds, you have to be able to navigate, to ad-lib, right? The A in lead. To ad-lib. To learn how to move your car through the winding roads. To not hit the people that are in those lanes by you in a winding road. Because sometimes out there it gets treacherous in life. Dead end. Simply put, that road is done. If you keep driving on that road, you're going to bang into something. It's not going to be good for you, and it's not going to be good for your car. Dead end. That's God saying, you went through the stop sign, you somehow went through the railway crossing, you didn't get hit by the train, and now you're at a dead end and you're going to fly off a cliff. This is a time for you to stop. People walking. That's telling you people are going to cross your path. Some of them meant to continue walking. Others meant to be there forever. Others meant to be there for a season. Do not enter. That's a clear sign. Do not enter. something about this road is not good for you. Yield. Yield means enter with caution, right? Enter knowing when you enter into a relationship, there's adversity. When you enter into a romantic relationship, neither one of you is 100% right all the time, and neither one of you is 100% great and doesn't have to change or evolve. So when you enter into a relationship, you have to yield. Sometimes you have to yield, right? You want something all your way. You have to yield. You have to merge, right? You yield, and I'm not saying that you become a wimp. Proceed with caution. Proceed with caution. Watch your surroundings. That's what yield means. It means you're supposed to slow down and watch your surroundings and let something go if it's trying to leave, right? You come onto a yield and a car is trying to go and you're on the yield. You don't go and see if you both can hit each other, because relationships, professionally and personally, that collide at high pressure situations, high speeds, can take out both people or one of them. So yield. In life, proceed with caution. Be cautious of your surroundings. And when you proceed, pay attention. Detour. Take a break. Right? Take a detour. You worked for 5 straight days. Go to the movies today. Go get some ice cream. Go take a vacation. Detour. Do something out of the ordinary. Find another way. That's also what it could mean. Could be God telling you, find another way. This is not the way. This is a dead end. Here's your detour. Do not enter. Here's your detour. Under construction. I think all of our lives should have that sign. We're all under construction in some respect. We're all working on something. No parking. You know those people in life that come and they just set something down and make you deal with it, and they leave it there? Tow it away. Tow it away. When somebody comes with their problems and they leave it like a car in a no parking zone, tow it away. You don't need it. You don't need it. So that's a look at some of the road signs. There's plenty more. And I want to go back to yield for a second, because I want to tell you, I'm not asking you to I'm not asking you to give up your dreams. I'm not asking you to give up your aspirations. I'm not asking you to yield. I'm not asking you to bow down to somebody else. I'm asking you to proceed with caution. I'm asking you to slow down and look at your surroundings and be careful of the things that you could collide with. Not every person out there is for you. Not every job out there is for you. Maybe it's the type of work for you, but it's not the business, right? Maybe you're supposed to be an actor, but not for that company. You have to look back on life and think about the things that didn't work out, right? Because 9 times out of 10, honestly, now, there are things in my life that didn't work out. And there's things within that I was responsible for, and there's things that other people were responsible for. But you look back on it and you go, oh man, I miss that person. Okay. But was that person ever going to be right for you? No. So you made mistakes, they made mistakes. You didn't yield to each other, right? You both tried to go. Both tried to run each other off the road. But you have to understand that growth, time, patience, a lot of things come from this. Every one of us is under construction. Every one of us is going to have to learn how to merge lanes. Every one of us is going to have to learn how to yield. Every one of us is going to have to learn how to stop. Every one of us is going to have to understand that we can't U-turn and go back to our past. But how many of you have been paying attention to the road signs? I know I could do better, and I think you can too. This is LEAD. Learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver. The acronym that's delivered to you every Friday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. Proudly presented by those that deliver right to your car as you come through their drive-thru, and that is the wonderful people at Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. Go out and see them today and let them know that Wake Up Call sent you to Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. Chick-fil-A coming to us in our community and so many fantastic things that they do, led by owner-operator and one of my greatest friends and brothers, Jim Rusakowski. This is road signs. Pay attention to them. And pay attention to us when we come back on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora right after this fast break, where sports meets life from inside of the Cafe Kubal studios. I'm going to have to go back and listen to this one. Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there. And of course, you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100. And also find them on myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Kampground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Kampground and where your dog will be staying in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Kampground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9Kampground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and Kampground spelled with a K.com. K9Kampground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Kampground.
PB&J's Lunchbox, the food truck that you love finding all throughout Central and Upstate New York, now has a street-side cafe. So when you're craving their traditional favorites as well as their out-of-box amazing menu items, you can now head to 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. Located just minutes from the highway, the Thruway, Destiny USA, and Onondaga Lake Parkway, PB&J's Lunchbox Street-Side Cafe is there for you Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner all throughout the day. Get breakfast for dinner, dinner for lunch, whatever you fancy, including their award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Find them at 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. PB&J's Lunchbox, where we love to know what's in your lunchbox. As a patient, what do we want? To be cared for, to be listened to, and to have someone walk us through the process on our path to victory. Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics does all of those things beautifully, with Dr. Mark Petropoli leading the team on 791 West Genesee Street in Skaneateles, New York, located minutes from beautiful Skaneateles Lake. Whatever your injury may be from head to toe, preventative care, rehab, physical therapy, laser therapy, and surgery are all available at Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, where they care about us, they listen to us, and they understand that everyone's path to victory is a little bit different. Let them help you on yours by calling 315-685-7544 to make your appointment today. That's 315-685-7544. And find out more information at victorysportsmedicine.com. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal studios. Happy to be here with you where sports meets that thing called life here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Cafe Kubal, of course, on 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 401 South Salina Street in Syracuse, New York, as well as 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York, and on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners in North Syracuse in their drive-through location. So, however you get connected, make sure you reach out to Cafe Kubal today. Let them know that Wake Up Call sent you, and always support local and support our community of Central and Upstate New York. We're always happy here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora around 10 a.m. Eastern Time every Friday to honor our top dog of the week. And our top dog of the week this week, proudly presented by Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, both of East Syracuse, the place to bring your dog, in my opinion. Fantastic people, local company, really salt of the earth, led by Lorraine, who grew up in our community of Central and Upstate New York. And they are right there off of Bridge Street in East Syracuse. The daycare on 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse, and right around the corner, 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, you'll find the Kampground Dog Boarding. Fantastic people. They protect and take care of our dogs, so it's fitting that they bring us the top dog of the week every week. And my top dog of the week this week, after a conversation with Coach Hicks just a couple weeks ago at Mother's Cupboard, we had the opportunity to speak on Keenan Hale. Keenan Hale Jr. Joining the show here with me today. I don't know if he knew this, but he's not only here on the show as a guest live, but he's my top dog of the week, because I know that what we stand for here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, which is where sports meets life, I know he's going to bring it today. So not only are we having Keenan on the show, but he is being honored as our spotlight guest top dog of the week. And with that being said, we bring him in. Keenan, how you doing today?
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate the honors here. It is an honor to be on the show and to be with you this morning. To hear that I've been honored with the top dog of the week it means a lot to me. And where sports meets life, just to be able to talk about life after sports. It's a blessing to be able to share what I've been up to, and a lot of my teammates. I really thank them for still being friends with me, and also my coaches for giving me the opportunity to play at Syracuse and to learn from some of the greatest that are in the sport. They teach a lot of life lessons that you can take away after. So I'm glad to be here with you. I'm glad to share.
Well, I appreciate that very kind sentiment from you as we get started in our conversation here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. And I'm honored to have you, and I appreciate all those nice words, but I send them back to you times 10, because it's an honor for me to be able to speak with someone that is out there obviously going after a lot of different things in life and working very diligently to make things better. And I would love to get into a lot of different pieces today, but I'm going to start with Syracuse and your time there and your experience there with the Orange and just what you took away from it. As I was coming back from working at ESPN and Disney down in Orlando, Florida, I obviously came back here, started covering Syracuse on site on location, and you were here during those times, and I definitely would love to get your thoughts on what you took away from your time at Syracuse, as well as tying it all back together as to not only what you took away from Syracuse, but why it was important for you to be a part of the Syracuse Football Club, where you serve as vice president.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. So one of the first things that I want to say, Syracuse as an institution is phenomenal in itself. But most importantly to me, it is the people that make up the institutions and organizations that really make these places what they are. And I keep that in mind wherever I go, that without good people, great people, these organizations and institutions wouldn't be what they are. And I say that to start out about my experience at Syracuse. The coaching staff, it was top dog. I mean, these guys really knew their stuff, but not only did they know their stuff, they also treated every player with respect, and they wanted you to grow as an individual. And that was in all aspects of our game. It was in all aspects of their coaching, from the strength conditioning to our trainers, to our equipment managers, to the academic advisors that were there to really uplift the players and make sure that they were getting the education that they needed and the help that they needed. If they were not able to, get something in class, being able to teach them on the side and make sure that players were being brought up the right way. This in turn helps not only players, get better in their field, which was in football, obviously, but also within life as an individual. It teaches you how to be a better person. That's what they really instill in giving back. And so my role as the vice chairman of the vice president of the Syracuse Football Club, that is what I'm all about, is giving back not only to the Syracuse Football Club, but also the current players that are there, the institution, and the inner city, the community of Syracuse. The programming that we do, and we actually had $5,000 that we raised over the past year sent to the Northside Learning Center, where they assist refugees in helping with education and getting supplies needed to teach those kids, refugees that are looking to learn. So things like that, things that I saw while I was at Syracuse, ways that we can build the city up around it. It doesn't do any good to have a phenomenal top university, but have a suffering and struggling community right outside the gates. So the work that we do always has a component of giving back into the community. And all of those things were really taught, by the coaching staff. They were diligent in making sure that all of the players had community service. Whether you were going to the jail to speak to some young men about life choices, whether you were going to a school to read to the young kids, or whether you were going to another offsite to learn and implement certain strategies that are going to help outside businesses and small businesses within the community. Those things were extremely important, and I was just glad to be able to take part in such a great organization and preparing men to succeed in life outside of football.
Coming here from Keenan Hale this morning. Keenan Hale Jr., Syracuse Orange wide receiver alum and vice president for the Syracuse Football Club. You said a lot in that, and none of it had to do with wins and losses. And I think that is the sign of a good coaching staff, right? Good leadership, that you said, hey, this is what we're doing, this is what we were learning, this is what we were about. You talk about going and speaking at a local jail and talking with people about life choices and whatnot. What can you say about your coaching staff at Syracuse and what they brought out of you as a human being, not just a football player, and how you use that today?
Yeah, so the coaches, specifically, I'll talk about my position coach to start. Rob Moore, who's currently the wide receiver coach for the Tennessee Titans. He was the same guy who trained Amari Cooper when he was in Oakland, and a couple of other of your highest performing wide receivers that are in the league right now. Learning from him. He wasn't someone that was going to yell at you all the time, but you knew when he was disappointed. He was disappointed with me on numerous occasions because I was spending too much time in the classroom and not enough in the playbook. And so we would have one-on-one conversations, and he would let me know what it is that I needed to do. And just the way that he coached, it was more of a mentorship and getting you to understand, the way that you move, the way that you think about, the game and how to translate that into your life. You need to be diligent not only in the classroom, but you also need to be diligent on the football field. You need to learn these concepts, the same kind of concepts that you're going to learn in your chemistry class. I want you to learn defensive schemes. I want you to learn these techniques that are going to help you become a better wide receiver. And I'm going to, instill that over and over and over again to make sure that you have that. And, he was just really good at getting the best out of each individual receiver in the room. And specifically, I can only talk about myself and what he got out of me. By year 2, I was grateful to play behind a few All-Americans, Alec Lemon. You talk about one of the smoothest wide receivers and one of the best performing wide receivers in Syracuse history, as well as Marcus Sales. So getting to learn not only from Coach Moore, but also seeing how he helped those guys take it to another level, and then watching them in turn when he wasn't around be able to share all the things they knew with me. And so that was one of the things that Coach Moore was really good about. I mean, I even remember going to the weight room, and I would see him in there. And Coach Moore, he looks like he can still play the game. Honestly, he's about 6'5", solid 230, 240. I mean, and this guy's just rock solid. But he was doing a lot of new stretches I've never seen before. A lot of core, like, Coach, can you just show me all, everything that you're doing here? He's like, well, yeah, it was 10 different core exercises. He's like, if you do this 10 reps to each one of these, then I'm telling you, you'll get right. So ever since then, I mean, I've literally, implemented that with family members and other friends. They're like, kicked my butt. It's small things like that. Being willing to sit there and learn from somebody, and to have him, want to share all of his knowledge in anything with somebody who's willing to learn and willing to grow. We would talk about things outside of football, just real world, real life situations that happen to people. And that meant a lot to have somebody who cared not just about you as a player, but you as a person. And another thing that happened, I posted one time as a freshman. I'm finished with my, classes for the day, and, I finished all my work. And it's 11 o'clock at night. I'm ready to hang out. Who wants to hang out? I posted this on my Facebook. Coach Moore, next day, calls me in the office. Hey, man, we have this post, man. What's going on? Like, well, nah, you can't be posting stuff like this. So, things like that, it really made me think, okay, there are people out there that are watching me and that are counting on me, not only to be accountable to the team, but to make sure that, one, I am focused. And I can't be focused if I'm over here trying to broadcast to the world, hey, we should hang out, do this, that, and the other. It just shows that, hey, I'm not doing the extra work, spending in that time where I could be to focus on my goals and, to help the team out. And so that was another lesson that I learned from him. And it's sometimes it's the smallest things, the small things that really make a big difference. And I'm grateful to have a coaching staff that really was all about that. And you mentioned Coach Hicks, and I think strength and conditioning coaches do not get enough credit for the work that they do. And these guys are around the team more than your position coaches, more than your head coach and whatnot. So they have you year in and year out through the summertime when most guys don't want to be there. And so they know the players inside and out. They know who's working hard. They know who really wants to make a difference and make an impact. And they see those guys, train as hard as they can, and they make sure, not only are they trained, but he had a funny side to him, a real down to earth, he's going to give you give it to you straight, but at the same time, it's fun. He makes you enjoy it. You can do 30 plus 110s and still, the way that he would just operate, it was like, okay, Coach Hicks, I may hate what the work we're doing, but you're making it so much better, so much easier to get through all of those things. And, taking that into real life, when you have a job that, it may be hard work, but it's the mindset that you go in with it, and having people that are going to have that kind of energy and come there every single day wanting to make sure that regardless of how hard it's going to be, once you get through it, you're going to be happier. And once you get through these things, while you're going through it, I'm going to make sure you have fun doing it, So I appreciate Coach Hicks more than he knows, and I always want to give credit to him. And also credit to my strength and conditioning coach that I got to learn from in high school. Coach Hicks always admired the way that my technique in lifting. A lot of that goes back to my strength and conditioning coach, Coach Van Vliet, who's the strength and conditioning coach for Ensworth High School in Tennessee and Nashville. He really sat down with me and made sure that, I had top-notch technique before I could lift heavy weights. And therefore, I was able to come to Syracuse and outlift a lot of guys that were a lot bigger, a lot stronger than me. Yeah. But it came down to proper technique and being able to use that form across the board to, get a better version of me each and every day.
That coming to us from Keenan Hale Jr. I very much appreciate all of that. And those words on Rob Moore, I haven't seen Rob in a minute, so great to hear about Rob Moore. Obviously a fantastic Syracuse wide receiver, and came back here and worked on the staff. I got to know him a little bit when he was back here working as a member of the staff. So big shout out to Rob Moore. Miss talking to Rob. Would love to do that soon, and definitely to Coach Hicks, so I get to sit with a lot of great stuff coming from Coach Hicks. So that's all coming from Keenan Hale Jr., paying it back to the gentleman that helped him to get to where he is today. And to speak on where you are today, life after football, not everybody can, say that life after football. I mean, people get nervous, right? What do I do after football? That transition, and speaking with some guys about it recently, and Aaron Hackett, and talking about, how difficult it is to look at life after football and what comes next. And some football players, right, or athletes in general, they just kind of think, hey, I'm going to play for the rest of my life, and that's how it's going to be, and that's, that's it. They don't look beyond football because they love that. Now, you currently serve as principal consultant at the lobbying firm Beatty and Associates in Washington, D.C. You're also the corporate advisor for Harkness AI, which is a tech startup business based out of Los Angeles. So you are living in a very unique world, and you're living in our nation's capital. So I'd love to let you share with everybody and just kind of open up the doors to what life is like in D.C., what you're doing, and why, more than anything, why you're doing it.
Absolutely. Living in D.C. is, let me just say, it's quite an experience. I've been in D.C. now since November of 2015. And I worked on Capitol Hill for Congressman Al Green from 2015 all the way up through 2019 as his executive assistant and legislative assistant, navigating legislation from scratch all the way through Rules Committee and passage on the House floor. All of that said, you asked why, and that's it's a very important question, because when I think about what it is that I want to do in life and what other people want to do in life, a lot of times we really don't know. And so I always reflect back to my first experience once I left Syracuse. I was back home in Georgia, and a mayoral candidate out of Douglasville, Georgia, had come up to my family while we were at dinner, introduced herself, and she was like, "Yeah," my dad said, "she's going to be the next mayor." And I went home that night, and I did some research on her. I looked her up, and all of her previous campaigns she had lost. So she was going up against an incumbent that she had faced before 4 years prior, didn't win. So I looked into all those things, and I put together a 40-plus page document on that prior campaign, and also ways that I thought she could improve going forward. And that was from her strategy to her communications to the events that she did within the community. And so I asked my mentor, I said, hey, I would love for you to just give me a conversation with her so I could share some of these things. I would love to work on a campaign. And she did that, and I ended up meeting with Rochelle, the candidate, and we had a lunch, and she looked at 2 pages of documents and said, oh my gosh, I want to hire you as my chief of staff. So that became, the first step into, the career that I'm in now in this political sphere. While I was her chief of staff, was able to be in the community, go to the city council meetings, listen to the constituents, the issues that they were facing, the problems that they had, and really, come up with solutions to help all these people out. And that's a city of over 50,000. So, it's a large group of people that have, a lot of issues. And to be able to say I was able to go in there and solve a lot of problems for them, with the help of different stakeholders within the community, and really make a difference from getting the new police chief in office and the policies he was going to implement within the community, to other leaders on the city council and other commissioners, getting them on board with the different policies and programs that we were going to implement, and really getting the people to see that we cared and that we were going to show up. A lot of life is, not always, what but can you show up? And a lot of that comes back to football. I mean, if you can't show up to practice, you can't show up to a game. If you can't show up to your meetings, how can they expect you to, show up on Sunday, show up on Saturday? And so I carry all of those things with me. And the reason why, I started to do what I do now is because I was able to really help a lot of people, and it made a difference in their lives. And so the more people that I could make a difference in their lives, when it comes to policy, when it comes to community service, when it comes to activism, and making a real difference, those are the reasons why I'm in the position I'm in. That's why I'm here in DC, to scale that. I wanted to reach more people. I wanted to influence larger groups and make sure that most people who weren't getting representation were going to have somebody there that was going to fight on their behalf if they couldn't be there. Not everybody can be here in DC, and if you're not here, sometimes it's like being at the dinner table. If you're not at the table, you're on the menu. You don't know the discussions that are happening. So I'm in the room. I'm making sure that the voices that are outside in other communities across the world and globally, communities that I'm connected to, I'm making sure that nothing's getting by me, so that they can realize what they need to be doing to make their communities better, to make their businesses run better, to make their companies operate on a more efficient scale, to make sure that we're having different changes that are, affecting the community of the United States as a whole in a more positive direction. And so that's why I love being here in DC. That's why I love the work that I've been able to do, the people that I've been able to connect with. And those are the reasons why I continue, to be here. I mean, another thing is mentoring, and that is a big component of football. You have your coaches throughout the season, but during the summertime, when it's just you, the strength and conditioning coaches, and your former teammates, you have to rely on those seniors that are, above you to, really bring you along. Those guys that have real leadership and that want to help the rest of the core. Because if one man goes down, somebody's got to be able to step up. And if you haven't, learned all the techniques, if you don't have a mentor that's able to, teach you things that you don't know, then you're going to be, behind the 8 ball when your time has come. And so when it comes to politics and, being in the government affairs space, mentoring junior staff, I served as the Congressional Black Associates Membership Chair, which was on the executive board on Capitol Hill. It's the premier Black staff organization for all Black staffers. And, I was adamant about making sure all junior staff, had access to senior staff, and either on committees or within personal offices, and making sure that when they were growing, learning the skills that they needed to become successful once they maneuvered and navigated that landscape of becoming a legislative director, becoming a chief of staff, becoming a staff director on a committee, becoming, a leader in those communities. Because at the end of the day, these are the people that are implementing the policies that are going to affect the entire country. And you want to have the best and the brightest in those, but they need real leadership. They need real people that are able to inspire them and get them to learn things that they don't always know. And bring them up the right way. So I was, that's been a joy. I was able to do that for 2 years, from 2016 to 2018, and continue to do that. I still get asked to have conversations with, staff and, connect them and, give them some advice on, certain things. And, it's a pleasure to me. You don't have to pay me to do this type of stuff, because I wasn't getting paid to help. When I was mentoring other receivers, I wasn't getting paid. Neither were my teammates. You did it because you wanted the team to be better. You want your community to be better. You want your organization, wherever you are, you want that to be better. And, that's what we have to focus on.
Yeah, and you talking about, all of this, Keenan Hale Jr., our top dog of the week, presented by Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. Everything that you're doing, I think it's important for people to understand this, because there are some negative connotations that come with this, and the media runs with what they want to run with. And I think it's funny, because then somebody will go, well, Dan, aren't you the media? And I always tell people, by my badge, yes. By the way I treat people, absolutely not. So the media, when they talk about lobbying, don't always paint it in the best of light. And so with you working in Washington, D.C. and living in this world, I would love for you to describe lobbying from your point of view and the purpose for lobbying.
Absolutely. So as a lobbyist, working on the Hill, you have to meet with outside stakeholders, different organizations. So, you have a media company, Dan, and so your company is affected by the policies within, the communication space. And therefore, if you do not have somebody that can go speak with these staff about, the different rules and regulations that are affecting your line of work that might put you out of business or, something like that, then you're going to be out of luck. And so that's what I do. I go in, I'm educating the staff on your business and the things that you're doing, your organization, the good programs that you're trying to implement, and make sure that you have funding for it to make sure you're not getting screwed over. That's what I do. Educating staff, because these are small offices and they can't focus on everything. So you have to go in and get them to understand and realize what it is that they don't know about your company, what they don't know about media. They can only know so much, and if they're only listening to the top corporations about their needs and their wants, then you're out of luck. If you're not in the line with, say what CNN wants, how do you have your voice heard? How do you have, your small businesses needs met if you don't have an advocate in there to fight on your behalf and to make sure that you're getting the best insight and knowledge that's coming out of Congress, the decisions that are being made, sharing that information with you so that you can make better decisions for your business and for your personal life within the community. That's what I do, and it's a joy to be able to help people in that regard. Because companies are just companies, and I go back to what I said earlier. There are great institutions and great organizations, but what runs these organizations and institutions at the end of the day, it's about people. And you have to be people-focused, people-centered in order to really make a difference. And when you focus on people, you'll find the change that you can make, the difference that you can make is much greater. So I am all about helping people. When I go in and I have clients that I bring in to meet with them, it's about real people living real situations in real life, not a hypothetical, oh, this company needs this. It's not about the company. It's about the people who work there. Too often you'll just have senior executives and, it's what the senior executives think, for that's best for the company, but not realizing that trickles down on every employee. And those people might not enjoy their job based on those decisions. They might be the ones getting cut out from getting a pay raise or getting different opportunities to grow in their careers by doing outside educational certifications or things of that nature that are really going to help put them in a better position to serve their family and to provide for their family. So when you look at it from that standpoint, you always got to keep in mind the whole organization and the people that make up those organizations and institutes.
In this world that you're living in, and living in Washington, D.C., and being in our nation's capital and working to make a difference, what is the plan? What is the hope? What is the desire for you? What is on this road that you're traveling on? Right before you came on, we have a segment called LEAD, which is the acronym for Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver. And we've been carrying different pieces. Today it was about road signs and about the road that you're on, the signs that you see. Do you listen to them? Do you abide by them? So what is on this road that you're traveling on? What is your hope? What is your desire? What does the future of Keenan Hale Jr. look like?
It's a great question, and it's a question that I actually think about a lot. Every road is, when you look down it, you can only see so far. Unless you're looking from outer space, your road is going to look a lot more narrow than that view that you'll have if you were in a spaceship in space. And so when I think about my life, I may only be able to see so far down that road, but I've got to be able to pivot. If things are not going well, if I notice that my career goals and my objectives are not in line with the outside world, basically, if what the business model of today changes tomorrow, I've got to be able to understand, okay, I can't continue operating on that same idea that what I was doing yesterday is going to work for today. It's just not, life is not like that. So when different policies are implemented, you have to alter how you are and the way that you move. And that's how I look at life. I look at life from the perspective of, what am I doing today to help tomorrow? And what are the changes that are coming tomorrow that are going to be helpful down the road 10 years from now, 5 years from now? But during that time period, being reflective of, what it is that's going on. And understanding, have the times changed? Is there something that I need to improve upon and make a difference and verge left or converge right? Do I need to, take a step back and, sit for a second after that stop sign and say, okay, this road is looking a little shaky. There's some cracks up ahead. It might be a hole. I don't know, but let me assess the situation and determine whether or not I should, change some things up in life or continue down the same path. So that's really, it sounds very general speaking, but, you got to be a generalist in order to understand some specificity sometimes.
I love. You got to be general in order to understand some specificities. I love that at the grassroots of everything, you have to get the basics to go on the big topics. And I agree with that. I've talked to people before that have no common sense. And without common sense, where do you go? I remember, and Keenan, go with me on this for a second. It's okay. It was my ex-girlfriend, not yours, so it's fine. But I dated somebody before, and she said to me, she goes, not everybody has the same common sense. And I sat here and I said, well, the definition of common sense is that it's common. So if people didn't have, if everybody had a different common sense, then it would be called uncommon sense, and it wouldn't make any sense to anything because you would interpret it the way you want to interpret it. So common sense to me is common sense, right? You're not supposed to stick your foot into, you're not supposed to put your foot into a rattlesnake cage, right? There's certain things that are common sense. You're not supposed to drive off cliffs because your car will crash. So there's things I think people should know But I found it really interesting that uncommon sense was something that came up when I was speaking with her. So in your life, in your travels, in your time, and in going toward your dreams, how many times have you I mean, I'm wearing a shirt today in the studio that says, "Are you human?" How many times in your life have you had a conversation with somebody going, "How did you put your pants on and get here today?" Because I feel like I have that a lot. Have you had conversations with people where you take a step back and say, "I just don't understand"? Because in this country today, I feel like you talk to some people and you're like, how are we going to work together if people like you are here only working for yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. And I go back. So one of the things that we did in football at Syracuse, the first thing we did, it was called First Things First. Okay. You know, FTF. That beginning of every practice, it was FTF, first things first. So that is, you know, learning the basics, ball tucking, you know, just the simple things. You can't, you know, accomplish the major tasks. You can't get in and start running plays without, you know, learning the basics. And that's a part of life. You need to learn the basics. And, you know, what you were talking about with common sense, you know, common sense is only common to the culture that you're in. You know, people that come from different communities, yeah, what's common to them is not so common. So me being from the South, what's common to us is not so common to folks in New York. It's not as common to folks out in California. Just the way that people operate. So you have to keep that in mind and be able to say, okay, where am I coming from in regards to relation of the people that I'm surrounded by? Yeah. And when you move to a different environment, you know, people behave differently. If you go to another country, there are practices that are going to be different than how they are in the U.S. And people are going to look at you funny if you don't want to, you know, first of all, even take an interest in learning about those practices that they're, you know, working on. I mean, like, if you have no interest in, no desire to even, you know, want to learn why they do what they do and implement that to make their lives a little bit easier. I mean, you can't do business with somebody. Nobody's willing to do business with you if you don't even care about them. Because if you don't care about them, how can they trust that you're going to care about, you know, the bottom line and, you know, the business that y'all end up, you know, collaborating on? They can't. They don't trust. You got to have trust. And trust can be established by being willing to understand people where they are, where they come from, and, you know, how you can work together and make things better.
Coming from Keenan Hale Jr. Keenan, a final note here for this time that we'll be talking. I would love to reflect on Keenan Hale Sr. as well as Vicky, dad and mom, and get your thoughts on what they've done for you in today's, you know, as you stand here today as a grown man out in society. I would love to reflect back on your parents and some things that they've taught you and done that really stick out that you want to thank them for this morning.
Yeah, where do I start? For the gift of life to begin with, it's a blessing to be here. But my parents, man, I don't even know where I should even go with this because they've just given me so much advice over the years. But the one thing that my parents really, you know, harp upon all the time, and my dad especially, my dad had 5 P's. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. You know, that was one thing that's always stuck with me. And cream always rises to the top. No matter what you go through in life, you're going to face obstacles. You're going to face challenges. And one example that my dad, you know, gave me when I was growing up was the time when he was in the Marine Corps out in Camp Pendleton. And he was being told by, you know, senior officers, hey, man, you have great leadership capabilities, and we want to move you to the top. So they moved him to the front of the line, and he was leading all the troops and stuff. And then one day, they took him out of that and put him all the way in the back. They took him out of his leadership. And then he was thinking, like, wow, this is messed up. Why would they screw me over like this after they, you know, just told me I'm a great leader, this, that, and the other? Why would they, you know, just do this? And it was so frustrating for him, but he couldn't get over the fact that, man, they really screwed me like this, and how that affected his whole behavior and how he moved forward. And it was a life lesson for him. It really showed him, like, hey, regardless of what happens, you've got to be able to respond accordingly and move forward. If you get moved out of leadership, can you still help that organization? And the qualities of a great leader are those that can be taken out and still not be so saddened by not being, quote, the leader, that they lose hope in the organization. They lose faith in really making those around them better. You got to learn to lead from the back. You got to learn to lead from the middle, the same as you were leading from the front. And that really stuck with me, and it's how I operate in today. So I'm very grateful for him sharing that. And to talk about my mom, she's one of the hardest working women I know, hardest working people, as a matter of fact. I mean, she is now the CEO for a Center for Teenage Abused Women, and I grew up around that environment. She's a social worker by nature, and so her compassion and her way that she is able to nurture folks that have gone through struggles that many of us can't even imagine. It was a blessing just to be in that space and to have her around and to watch her do her thing. I mean, I've learned so much by just sitting and watching sometimes, as opposed to being instructed, and that has in turn put me in a place where I'm today, to where I will call my parents and I can lean on them for advice and whatnot. But I've got to be able to make my own decisions, and they're not making decisions for me. They're giving me the best advice with the best insight and experiences that they have, and I'm using all of those to be a better informed and make wiser decisions in every aspect of life, whether it's business or personal. And those things I'm really appreciative of, and I'm grateful, because not everybody has parents that, when you think about it, not everybody's parents are at the top level. And my parents clearly weren't when I was growing up, but they never shied away from leading. They never shied away from being able to implement different strategies and policies in whatever organization they were a part of. They always felt the need to give back and to help others, to be active in the community, to be active and to want to better themselves and those around them. And I'm grateful for that. They didn't know everything, but if they didn't know something, they were going to find out somebody who did. And we've got to be comfortable with saying, hey, I don't know this, or I don't know how to accomplish what's put in front of me, but let me reach out to this person in this space that does have more expertise, that does have more knowledge, and be willing to learn from them and make those connections. It goes a long way.
Keenan Hale Jr. speaking about mom and dad, and how when you don't know, it's okay to say you don't know and then go find the answer or find somebody who does. Keenan represented as our top dog of the week, proudly presented by K9 Camp Dog Daycare and K9 Kampground Dog Boarding. I appreciate so very much. I know there's other things that I wanted to get into and other things I want to talk about, but that's why there's other chapters in the book for another show. So, Keenan, I appreciate it. I thank you. I feel like we barely even touched the scratching of the surface of what we could talk about. But for your positivity, for your informative, conversation about life after football, and for where you're going, where you're heading, and why you're doing it, as well as an ode back to your family and a thanks to your parents for giving you the gift of life. I do want to thank you very much so for embodying what the top dog of the week means, and I'm very happy to have you on the show, and I would look forward to having you back on very soon.
All right. Thanks again, Dan. And I'm glad to be top dog of the week. Shout out to all of my teammates, and actually about to do a meeting with my former roommate, Donnie Simmons. So shout out to him and everybody that's been an inspiration to me. And again, thank you, Dan, for this opportunity. I look forward to speaking with you and the community again as a whole. Go Syracuse, go Orange.
Awesome, man. And let Donnie know I said hello, please.
I will do. Will do.
All right. Take care.
All right.
See you. That coming from Keenan Hale once again here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life. We'll take a quick step aside for a fast break. We'll be back with a very special message from Aubrey of Witty Wicks right after this on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville beats. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. He kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if they don't shop at Honda City.
Our corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also I think we recognized that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career. It's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal studios. Happy to be here with you, hanging out where sports meets that thing called life. 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 401 South Salina Street, all in Syracuse, inside of their double-decker cafe out on 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, and on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners in North Syracuse in their drive-through. And inside of this Cafe Kubal studio, we have a wonderful thing from the awesome people at Witty Wicks. We have our 315 Home Sweet Home sign that's right here in the corner. We have our Cuse pillows. We already had some people reach out to Witty Wicks about the 315 pillow that's over my shoulder here with the dome, and the Cuse Home Sweet Home, and then my windows wide open Witty Wicks candle is sitting here lit up, and you can see it right next to me here in studio. And I don't know if Aubrey and Cassie have heard this, but I thank them all the time on the show, because I don't know if the candles were meant to do this on purpose, but it helps to clear up my allergies a little bit, and it makes me feel more comfortable in the studio. So it smells good, it's exciting, and at the same time, it's helping my allergies. So with that being said, I have the wonderful, wonderful people leading Witty Wicks here with me this morning. They are there. You see these smiling faces all the time on 190 Township Boulevard in Camillus in Township 5, right in front of Movie Tavern. And that is Aubrey and Cassie. So, ladies, welcome to the broadcast.
Hello, Dan. Thanks for having us this morning. Hello.
Absolutely, and happy to have you here. Cassie, I do want to shout out Cassie for something. Every time that I go in and I tell her I want a new scent, she gives me a bunch of options, and I always pick the opposite. So I do want to shout it. It's very true.
Lilac, and I was like shocked. I was like, wow, okay, lilac, let's go.
So I know that you guys are having your Christmas in July sale. We've talked about it all week long. We put up videos. My dog Lily went shopping and went to your back room to see all the new stuff that you had. So what can you tell us about Christmas in July and why people should come out this weekend?
So it's the biggest sale we've ever had, Dan. Not only do we have an entire rounder or shelving unit of Christmas at 50% off, but we have 2 tables and 3 huge stands full of everyday gift items at 50% off. We have a whole rack of candles at 50% off, lots of signs and home decor. We've got a sale on our Salt City tees that you've been wearing in your videos. Just a lot of great sale items to kind of clear us out and get us ready for new items coming in this fall and Christmas.
So I have to ask you both, and I appreciate that so much. And I know the first day that you had it this past Monday, jam-packed, people were coming out there. I went out there with Lily. I know that you've been going out all week in our community, and you know the hashtag that I started back at the beginning of 2020, support CNY. Supporting Central New York as well as supporting local is imperative to our community growing, blossoming, and continuing to be successful and progressive. So thank you for going out to Witty Wicks. Aubrey, Cassie, why Witty Wicks? Why do you like being out there? Why do you like working out there? For someone that hasn't been around the environment, what do you like about it?
Well, the 3 of us, there's also Erin, but she's more of a backstage kind of girl. But the 3 of us have stuck together for a lot of years, and we like to bring a really fun environment to everybody. And I think it's really important to support other local businesses also. And we also like to give back. So we have several candles that we give back from, but we also like to feature items in our store that give back to either local places or that give back worldwide.
Yeah, you know, and I know that I've talked about that a lot on the show too. And Aubrey, I'd love for you to expand on that a little bit. The importance of not just having your Witty Wicks products that are made locally here, but to have products from all different places locally, as well as to give back to so many wonderful places that are looking to help. I know you give back to people that have been abused, and in different worlds that's happened within different communities that are supportive of people that have gone through abuse. And I know that you give back to women in business, and there's a lot of different things that you do. So I'd love for you to expand on what Cassie said a little bit here in why it's so important for you to make sure that you're not only selling products, but you're selling products that have a message behind it that is far greater than the product itself.
Sure, Dan. We started the business. I started the business, obviously, in my kitchen and at the regional market. And I was surrounded by some amazing other small businesses from our community, women businesses, just local startups. And it was so great to have those relationships. And when we started our brick and mortar store, it was really important for me to bring those other local artists and products into our shop so that we have a local wall here at the shop in Township with all different kinds of great local food items that we can help make gift baskets. But it's not just serving our local community businesses and featuring them. We also think it's very important to give back. I obviously have 3 kids, and it's important for me to teach them to be a part of the community and give back in some way. We've been very fortunate here. Our shop is super busy, and we try to buy from not only local companies, but small businesses all across the country who also want to give back to their community. So we feature jewelry, we feature body products, we feature cologne, we feature what other items do we have in the shop? We lots of items, some of the baby products that we carry, different companies that have in their mission statement to donate some of their profits to different organizations.
And also ones that have fair trade and fair business practices. So some of our things are made internationally, but those items, the companies that they're working for, they're assuring safe and fair, like safe work environments and safe or fair business practices, so that people are getting paid what they're worth, and we're not just buying from anybody who isn't paying attention to those things.
And we also feature candles that we make here in the shop that are give backs to different fundraising organizations here in our community. We always sell a candle, our True Colors candle, which gives back to the Q Center, which is a safe space for LGBTQ plus youth in our community. And we have the Hope Candle, which is a Hope for Heather fundraiser. And Hope for Heather is they raise money for ovarian cancer awareness and for research.
Yeah, and I think all of these things are incredible, and that's the thing about when you come into Witty Wicks, you're really coming into a place that is a safe space for everybody, and I find that there not only is something for everyone, but there's so many different ways that you represent the community to really be inclusive and not exclusive, which I think is huge. I do want to make a note of this because for some reason it's going crazy literally in the moment right now. But my chocolate pizza commercial, I'm getting not commercial, but my thing I put up, I put up that I tried it, and I know it's one of the local companies that you carry here, and it's on your local wall. And so I came in a few days ago, I got a slice of the chocolate pizza, and I've been getting responses, and I just got a couple of them recently here, and I actually, just as I'm talking now, Jamie sent in to me, who's out in PA just a couple hours away, she said that chocolate looks amazing. So, we shamelessly, I guess we have to plug Chocolate Pizza Company and the local companies 100%. That you have, because
First of all, Ryan at Chocolate Pizza Company is amazing. He's so good to us. We carry a very wide range of Chocolate Pizza Company products here at the shop, but anybody from out of the area can certainly go right on his website. I believe it's just chocolatepizzacompany.com and order directly from him. It's great chocolate. It's fun. And we're just really proud to carry that here in our shop.
My last note here is how, Aubrey, I would love for you to expand on this, and Cassie to give your thoughts as well, but you coined a wonderful phrase, sports ball. And being here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, my tagline has always been where sports meets life. And what I mean by that is I use sports as a vehicle to spread the stuff that I think is even greater, more important. Comedy, humility, community, just bringing people together, finding a way to work together, compromise together, learn together. And so it's definitely a sports show that's not just about sports. But you talked about the phrase sports ball, and I would love for you to expand on what that means to you and what you look forward to having in our sports conversations, Miss Aubrey.
Sure. Well, I'm sure I am not the first person to use that phrase. I can't take credit for that. But as Cassie said, Cassie and Aaron are really my right and left hand here at Witty Wicks, and both of their families are big sports families. And my family is not a sports family. We're a theater and music family. So I never understand anything they're talking about. I confuse the different sports. I am never quite sure. I always say the wrong thing and they find it real funny. So
she does it on purpose.
I might do it a little bit on purpose now. But definitely in the beginning when we all started working together, I confused football and hockey and lacrosse, and I never knew what they were talking about. I thought Braden was a quarterback and he's something on, but at one point I thought he was you were talking about hockey and I thought he was quarterbacking and I don't even know what any of that means.
She doesn't know which player goes with which sport.
Right. I'm working on it. But
no, she's not.
So, it's kind of a running joke here. So anytime we have any sports items that are going on, I might get those a little bit mixed up. So look at, and to be very frank, I'm kind of the worst because I'm also not really that willing to learn.
Well, we're gonna do our best. I like the challenge. I accept challenges in life. So my challenge will be in my own comedic and very welcoming manner to help you learn something to bring you at least one step forward. That's my goal, for you to learn one thing each month together. That's my goal. One thing in 30 days. That's what I want.
All right. I will do my best to try and retain some sports ball info. But on that note, my son is performing up at the high school today with his theater camp, and I got to make a run up there because I am a theater mom. I'm not a sports mom, but I am a theater mom.
Well, we appreciate Aubrey, Cassie, and the entire team at Witty Wicks. Go out to their Christmas in July sale, biggest sale they've ever had, 190 Township Boulevard in Camillus in Township 5 in front of Movie Tavern. Ladies, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan. Have a terrific day.
Very fun. And the great thing about Aubrey being theater side of things is we have the show Superpowered Pop. So Aubrey and I get to gel a lot when it comes to our entertainment show in Superpowered Pop, and you can check it out at superpoweredpop.com. Superpowered, not superpower, superpoweredpop.com, and you could go to Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Superpowered Pop. You can also search us on YouTube, as we do a lot of things in the TV and movie realm, comic books and whatnot. We've interviewed writers, illustrators, actors, and actresses. And, of course, we're spending a lot of time with Marvel lately because I'm a massive Marvel fan. But we've also spent time with Star Wars, and we will talk about DC. So a lot of great stuff going on in Superpowered Pop. So make sure that you find your way to our brother show. I like to call it our sibling show. So go to at Superpowered Pop on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And, of course, superpoweredpop.com, and search us on YouTube. Thanks to Aubrey, Cassie, and the team at Witty Wicks. Go out and shop their Christmas and July sale. Support CNY and support local. And you'll hear from Witty Wicks in our final fast break of today's broadcast, as their Christmas and July sale has 3 more days, this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We'll see you out at 190 Township Boulevard in Camillus, New York, in Township 5, right in front of Movie Tavern. And we'll see you right back here after this fast break on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. I can't thank you enough for being a part of the show every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time inside of the Café Kubal studios.
Café Kubal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafekubal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Café Kubal needs. Café Kubal, coffee for the soul.
This is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge, and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item, available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma&Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating. Find them at 201 Old 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and all the time online at MON-FRI.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, you can order all throughout the country at MON-FRIPopcorn.com. And remember to get your tins, which have in-store half-price refills forever. Ma&Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, available to you for fundraising and all of your events by calling 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma&Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
Witty Wicks Candles and Gift Shop, Township 5 Camillus, where you will find handcrafted all-natural soy wax candles over 60 cents to freshen up your home. We carry a wide range of locally made items, Salsa Q's, Syracuse Salt, and Chocolate Pizza Company, to name a few. Let our knowledgeable staff help choose unique gifts and keepsakes for any occasion. Gifts for family and friends, and maybe a little something for yourself. Witty Wicks Candles and Gift Shop, Township 5 Camillus.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal studios. I want to thank you so much for being a part of the show. And we are definitely so happy to be here with you every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, where sports meets that thing called life. You're with us on Facebook.com, YouTube.com, and MixLR.com/WakeUpCallDT. You're also with us on Facebook.com/LiveNowDT and on WakeUpCallDT.com's homepage. So don't forget to go off to WakeUpCallDT.com. Everything is located there. It's the hub of all the things we do. And of course, you can bookmark it, save it, keep it, love it, subscribe to it, WakeUpCallDT.com. After the shows go live, they jump into our archives, and we have plenty. All around the world, if you have Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes or Apple Podcasts, MixLR, Player FM, Podbean, Podvine, TuneIn, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, any one of these outlets, all you have to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT, and you will get our broadcast. Podbean has every single broadcast that we've done, so that's a great hub to go to. Over 120,000 downloads, which is a mere tiny fraction the amount of plays that at this point I believe is over 600,000 plays. So check out Podbean. Go there now. We have over 1,500 shows, every broadcast that we have put up since 2012. So go and check those out today. Thanks to our Central and Upstate New York partners and beyond. You've heard them throughout the broadcast. Cafe Kubal, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, Witty Wicks, PB&J's Lunchbox, Canine Camp, Dog Daycare, Avicoli's, Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, Millhouse Market, Ma&Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, Honda City of Liverpool, Pizza Man, Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, and Mother's Cupboard. And of course, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Lemoyne College Dolphins. It's fins up all day, day. We are here with the Lemoyne Dolphins every single month on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Stay tuned for an all-new edition of AD and DT every first and third Wednesday of each month at 9 a.m. Eastern Time during Dolphin Time. Our first one will come to you this Wednesday with Bob Beretta, the athletics director at Lemoyne College. And, of course, every second and fourth Wednesday, we will have Dolphin Dive, where we dive into the stories of student-athletes, coaches, administration, as well as alumni and future Dolphins. You can get all of this content and all of these wonderful video and audio interviews by going to the Lemoyne tab on WakeUpCallDT.com, as well as subscribing to our YouTube.com/WakeUpCallDT channel. For more information on your Dolphins, go to LemoyneDolphins.com, and remember, Dolphins never swim alone. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Marywood University Pacers. Pacer Pride is what we call our signature segments weekly with the Marywood Pacers, and Pacer Pride is which runs through my veins. I'm a proud Marywood Pacer alum, and you can check out your Marywood Pacers every single Friday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. I know this week we have a special coming up for you this following week, so that's why you didn't hear from them today, but the Marywood Pacers are with us every single month. You can get all of our content with the Pacers, listen and watch on the Marywood tab on WakeUpCallDT.com, as well as subscribing to our YouTube.com/WakeUpCallDT channel for the Marywood Pacer content. Don't miss a moment of it. 10:30 a.m. Set it on Friday. Marywood Pacers Pacer Pride exclusive segments. And for more information on those wonderful Marywood Pacers, go to MarywoodPacers.com. Love that music. Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse are also proud multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and we are proud to be exclusive with Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse, their multimedia exclusive partner. Big shout out to the Bobcats. Bobcat Buzz comes to you every single month on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We just had a double dose of Bobcat Buzz as we were there for men's basketball signing day for 5 signees that were there. Big shout out to all the signees that were on site, on location there that we got to take pictures of. Jose Galarza, as well as Anton Berga, Darren Joyner, Shamari Baskerville, and Antonio Scott. Big shout out to all of them. Makai Reed has also joined me for a Bobcat Buzz exclusive. You can find all of those on the BSCSYR tab on WakeUpCallDT.com. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, which I suggest you do, on YouTube.com/WakeUpCallDT for all of our Bobcat content. We just did a Cafe Kubal Takeover Bobcat Buzz edition with Clay Gagan Sherman, the men's basketball head coach. You can go and check that out as well on Facebook.com and YouTube.com, both /WakeUpCallDT. It'll also be added to the BSCSYR tab on WakeUpCallDT.com for your Bryan and Stratton coverage. For the Bobcats, exclusive spotlights coverage that you have never seen before comes to you in Bobcat Buzz, and that comes to you every single month. Plenty more to come, and my exclusive with Darren Joyner, who was there on signing day as one of the new signees coming from NCAA Division II to the USCAA to join the Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse. My conversation with him is on Instagram, on our timeline at WakeUpCall_DT. It's also on Facebook.com /WakeUpCallDT. It's on Twitter at CallDT, so you can go check it out on any one of those avenues today. And for more information on your Bobcats, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com. With that being said, I want to thank everyone for today. Inside of MON-FRI is what's popping. Big shout out to Carvel DeWitt for the annoying moment of the week. Make sure you make your way out to Carvel DeWitt today. And I know y'all are celebrating a lot of different things. And, you know, don't let that weather, listen, whether it's hot, cold, rain, shine, Carvel DeWitt is open for you. 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. It is what happy tastes like. It's where memories are made. My family has made memories around a Carvel cake since I was a little kid. You can make your memories today by picking up a cake, a sundae, a dasher, whatever of your choosing at Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. Thanks to Jay Cartini and the team. Lead, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver focused today on road signs. A very, very exciting topic that I got to talk about today. I'm happy we got to do it. I thank God for the advice, and I'm so much appreciative of Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. Head out to both of those locations. Fantastic people, led by the best of the best, Jimmer Sikowski, as the owner and operator of both locations. And you can get to Chick-fil-A Cicero on 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, New York. And you can get to Chick-fil-A Clay, which is right off of Route 31, and you can find them on 3974 New York 31 in Liverpool, New York. So 3974 right there on Route 31 in Liverpool, New York, and make sure you head out to both of those locations this week. And of course, a big ups to the top dog of the week, Keenan Hale Jr. Thank you for his fantastic and heartfelt story as he comes to us from our nation's capital in Washington, D.C. Syracuse football alum. And our top dog of the week brought to you by Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding of East Syracuse. the premier place to bring your dogs of any age, of any type. Make sure you head out to Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, and you'll have peace of mind, either if it's a day or a week that you're dropping your dog off, or just a few days. Make sure you get out to them at Canine Camp Dog Daycare. You can go to K-9kamp.com for more information. And for the Kampground Dog Boarding, go to KAMPground.com. With that being said, I want to thank Aubrey and Cassie and the entire team at Witty Wicks. Do what I've done all throughout the week, and I will probably do at least once more again this week, which is head out there for their Christmas in July sale. So make sure you go out there this week. The biggest sale they've ever had, up to 50% off select items. Christmas in July is happening at Witty Wicks, and it's been great all week. Thank you for coming out, and come out and see them again. Witty Wicks, 190 Township Boulevard in Township 5 of Camillus, New York, right in front of Movie Tavern. Christmas in July sale going on for this few more days here, the last 3 days of July, so easy to remember. July 29th, 30th, and 31st, final days of the Christmas in July sale at Witty Wicks, so get out there today and get some great finds for you and some gifts for the people that you love the most. I also want to very much once again thank the fantastic teams at Cafe Kubal at all locations: 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 401 South Salina Street, all in Syracuse, inside of what I call the Manlius Welcome Center, which is a double-decker, can't-miss-it brown stripe building where all roads converge into Manlius, and that is 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York for Cafe Kubal, and their drive-through location on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners in North Syracuse. So go out and see them at all of their locations, and if you're out of town, you can simply go to cafekubal.com and order from them today to keep it local, support small business, and pay it forward. So thank you to everybody involved. Find us on Facebook at WakeUpCallDT, the Twitter at CallDT, and Instagram at WakeUpCall_DT. And I want to give a special thanks to my mom, to my dad, to all my family, to my true friends, to the wonderful people that have shown me what it really means to love somebody, and to the God above that I focus on more than anything else and thank more than anything else. God is great, times are good, and sometimes when you dream about an ostrich, it's a positive.